Ooh, crazy hair. That's alright. Good morning. Coffee. This is my coffee cup. Comes in, and then there's the coffee. Now, that is Lavazza, I think. Some sort of espresso. It's already ground. I do sometimes get it in bean, and then I use my blender and grind it up. If anybody is listening to this, it's like a coffee guru or aficionado or whatever you call it. They're like, oh my god, you're ruining it. It's like that episode of The Simpsons ages ago when Bart was, I think he was imprisoned or something, and he was there in France, and he told them that he was being imprisoned, and he learned how to speak French magically. And they didn't care. They're like, yeah, whatever, stupid American. And then he said they put antifreeze in the wine, and he's like, what? In wine, antifreeze, or something like that, and they went crazy. So it's kind of like, this coffee's good for me, but if people are when it's their passion, they're like, no, you don't do that. You don't do that. Anyways, I use a Moka pot to do coffee. When I saw it online and read about it, you get your water, boil it first, and then I put that in the Moka pot, which is one of those stovetop. It's espresso-like making coffee. Put your water in it. There's a little steam outlet, so you don't do it, to the steam bit. Fill the hot water up there. Put the little, coffee holding cup type of thing. I had to go stop my dogs from going into the other yard. We have a neighbor. She doesn't like it at all. At all. First day we moved here. I look in the backyard. It's sort of like an apartment complex. This, that, trees, plants, whole other yard, right? So it's completely enclosed, and I thought, oh, this is awesome. I don't have to worry about my dogs going out to the road, or anything like that. So I let my dogs out, and I'm thinking it's fully open, shared communal living, clean up the messings, the droppings, all that normal stuff. No. Mind you, I've never met this woman. Dogs come running out, playing. They're pugs, so they're like German royalty. I think, I don't know. So that, wherever they go, that's where they belong. And just pounding on her window because she's on the ground floor, and it's this. Hold on, I'm just changing hands on the phone. Hello. That might not work actually. Pounding on the window, and just get the dogs. They don't belong over here, and get rid of them. And I'm like, no, they'll go where they want. But then at the same time, I don't know this person. I don't know who she is, so I'll just I'll abide by it. So now it's this response where I try not to let them go on the other side of the road, or the yard, but yeah, every now and then I've got to pause whatever I'm doing. For example, now, and I tend to want to pause it because otherwise you'll hear me going rah. I just did it. He just looked. Anyways, yeah, needless to say, there's a slight stressor coming into the backyard for the dogs to go out. It's ridiculous, but it is what it is, right? That's the way it's at. Anyways, what the hell was I talking about? Okay, hold on. I like leaving these in because you get to see how crazy I am. I'm not really crazy, or am I? Jesus. Okay, let's think. We were talking about coffee. Yeah, Moka pot. Put the coffee in the thing, leave the lid open. I've got an electric oven, or electric stovetop. Turn it on 3, which is medium, and then you let it kind of ooze out, and it is an espresso of sorts. It's not. It's still generated by pressure and heat, but it's obviously not the traditional espressos. Oh goodness. Okay. Anyways, what I want to talk today about was, first off, welcome to the channel. Welcome to me. This is my morning. It is 9-ish here in Scotland. It's a nice day. Okay, so the hottest it gets is like mid-20s, right? 25 Celsius, which, so if you think, how do I go from Celsius to Fahrenheit? 0 degrees Celsius is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And the formula is something like one of them times 5/9 plus 32 or something like that. And I can never remember exactly how you do it, so I always think, okay, it's 0 degrees. It's one of those days. Anyways, Celsius to Fahrenheit, 0 degrees Celsius is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So that means that you take 0 times 9/5 Celsius, which will give you 0, add 32. So if it is 25, and this is hot, 25 degrees is hot here in Scotland. 25 times 9 is 250, 225, and then divide that by 5. 225 divided by 5 is what? Well, 200 divided by 5 is 40. 5 divided by 5, so 45 plus 32, that's what, 75, 82, right? 32 plus 45 is 77, right? Okay, so 25 degrees Celsius is 77 degrees Fahrenheit is hot here in Scotland. So you'll see these newspaper ads that are like, Scots set to sizzle over the weekend as temperatures like scorch at 25 degrees Celsius or 77. And I gotta say, living here, and winter is freezing, so it's 0 degrees, 32 degrees in the day, and you just kind of get used to it, and then it can get really cold, and the wind chill is crazy. And you just get used to, I go outside, I wear thick pair of pants, thick socks, waterproof shoes, a shirt, a jumper, a jacket, beanie, gloves, all that. That's just what you do. Then when it gets to be about 10 degrees, you're like, oh, this is nice. I only have to wear a jumper. 10 degrees Celsius, so that's like what, let's say it's 40, 45 or something. So when it does get 25, it is actually really hot. My kitchen has a thermometer that says 25 degrees is too hot, which is just hilarious because I've lived in Northern California where summertime is easily 40 degrees Celsius, over 110 degrees Fahrenheit, and I've lived in Brisbane, Australia, which is effectively the same thing except it's humid. So I'm used to like actual heat. So coming here when it's like hot is hilarious. So anyways, I'm in a jumper today. One of the things I want to talk about today was a book that I just finished. I can't remember the author's name, but it's called A Random Walk Down Wall Street, and it is in its 12th edition, which is pretty cool. And it's like it's a strategy for investing in the market, and it talks a lot about the fact that there's what's called the efficient market hypothesis. It says that, and I'm paraphrasing and probably missing a bunch of stuff, that effectively what is the current market price is like perfectly captures like what all the public information is about the market. And if you have a random walk that you start at 0 and you could go in one direction, you can go up or down, plus 1 or minus 1 with equal probability. The mean that you would expect is 0. If you start at 0, the expectation is 0, because every time you take a step forward, you're just as likely to take a step back. So you could think that you would average around 0, and you actually do. You can work out the math. It does that. The mean squared displacement, which means that the displacement, which is the shortest distance. So if you start somewhere and you end somewhere, the displacement is the distance between the start and the end. Whereas the distance might be like the path of the curve that you take, but you can't measure that. Just drinking some coffee. And then I'm going to switch hands. I'm going to give you a view of the sky. Here's the sky. And now back to me. Okay, with the line through my head is the stream of thoughts that I have with my hair. Okay. So you've got the mean square displacement, which says that from the starting point to the end point, I'm going to measure the distance. Depending on how I've set up my space, will dictate how I measure my distance. And then I'm going to square it, and I'm going to take the mean. So, a few things. You could look it up, mean square displacement. Anyways, that has an actual number, and that's effectively like your spread of where you'd expect to be. But it says effectively that, look, you can't predict the market. You can't know with any certainty what the market is going to do. It's chaotic, and it's actually, I think, like level 1 chaotic, which effectively is saying, like, if I make a guess on the market, I will affect the market in an unknown way. And this is like, if you start looking at stocks or investing or whatever, Warren Buffett, who's famous, I don't know, most people have heard of him. He said, look, I'll bet $1 million that nobody could outperform the market over than just what you call a passive index. It's just like, for example, the S&P 500 is the 500 top public businesses in America. I think it's in America. And if you say buy the S&P 500, that means you get an index. You get a little bit of all those things. So it's highly diversified. It's supposed to be anyways. And there's talks about a bubble for index funds. Anyways, he said that in the long run, no actively traded fund will do better than a passively traded fund. Which means that people that actively try and predict what the market's going to be in the long run will not do any better than just literally, let's just take the top 500 and we'll go with that. And that's going to change over time, all that stuff. So anyways, it's a big book. I listened to it on audio, and it was really interesting. It gave a lot of background about the market, the efficient market hypothesis, types of marketing strategies like technical analysis, fundamental analysis, the fallacies in both. They talked about high-frequency trading, algorithmic trading, and it's not a technical book, but it does give you a very good overview. And I found it to be very informative because it wasn't also saying follow strategy A and you'll make money for sure. Only thing it did say that was really like, this is what is the best thing to do, is if you want to invest and you don't have a large risk, and you don't also enjoy the gambling aspect of betting on certain stocks, just put your money in like an index fund. Which, now I'm saying this is informative. It's not even educational. It's just me talking about a book that I read. So I found that really interesting. So it is a random walk down Wall Street, author TBD. I'll have to add that in. Anyways, I like the book. It was a good read. I've been looking in investing, but with my math background, I want to understand it from that level. So that means understanding statistics better, regression analysis, nonlinear methods, time series. So those are some things I've been thinking about. Anywho, just want to say hey, and yeah, everybody have a great day. Like, subscribe, hit those notifications. If you feel that I'm adding value into your life, then I most appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, bye.